Time to record the second time. Power save turned on. Going over real quick on how to save some money on brakes, and for those who have never done them before, and or those that are mechanically inclined that have done a little bit but not a lot. Normally, you take your car to a shop and they'll tell you 150 bucks a wheel, roughly. Could be. There are some guys that are cheaper. There are guys that are a lot more expensive. Brake shops are open to make a profit, and these are really, when you do it your first time, you're going to see how profitable it is to do this for a living. My Chrysler 300, my daughter's got the brakes. The discs are actually wobbling, so we've got to, they're untrue, so they're doing one of these numbers. So I've got to replace the rotors and the pads. I'm upgrading the brakes while I'm at it to drilled and slotted rotors, and what those are is they've got grooves and slots in them, for those who don't know, and they dissipate the gases and heat a lot faster than a stock one. One of the things you got to be careful of with these versus normal brakes is you have a driver's side and a passenger side, so you definitely want to pay attention to which side you're on. And put the right disc on the right side, otherwise they don't work. They run backwards. I'm also upgrading the car to ceramic pads. They're a little bit better version of what's out there right now. Definitely will save you a ton of brake jobs later. Hold on, let me move my things out of the way here. And as I said, they'll save you time and money later. There's a good set of brake pads. They'll definitely go well with this set of rotors. I've got both front and back. Front is having issues, but the back's not. But you know what? If I'm in, I'm in. I'm going to do all four, and that way I don't have to worry about it. I know that all four brakes were replaced at the same time. If I see any uneven wear or something goofy, then I can address it as I go. I'm not going to run a video on how to do it. There are 3 million videos out there right now on how to do this, how to put in brakes, how to replace your brake pads, how to replace your rotors. I always say replace the rotors because you can have them turned if they're within spec, but every time you turn them, it takes a little bit more off them. I'm not a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in cleaning them up and reusing them if you can. If they're untrue, then move away. Go get yourself some new ones. That's kind of what I've done here. These are no longer, you feel the pulse in the brakes. Generally, that's either the ABS acting up because of the rotors trying to make things work. I think this one's got warped rotors is what it is. The car's got 100 and some thousand miles on it, so it's probably about time it needed new rotors and brakes. I got to give it credit; it has gone a long time. The only thing I've ever done to it, I think I've replaced the brake pads. Don't quote me on it. I may not have on this car at all ever. But we're going to replace them, and we're going to replace them, and we're going to upgrade them at the same time. That way we probably won't have to replace them again. Generally, these things will have a nice warranty on them, along with rotors. You can buy extended warranties on them. I paid under $300 for this whole set, which is, some may say that's really expensive, but when you look at taking it to a brake shop, and you're paying $150 to $200 a wheel, you're looking at $200, $400, $600, $800 easy in just parts. Most brake jobs that I've seen where people have complained to me is they're over $1,000 for brakes. So this can definitely save you a ton of money. Once you do this the first time, you realize just how simple this is and how easy it is, and you'll actually learn how to save money. I taught my son how to do it. He does it his own now. You know, if you're doing it for your first time and you don't understand the video, you don't understand the full concept of it, call up one of your buddies that does work on cars, or someone you know who works on cars. Jump on Facebook, ask what your little local. There's a bunch of local car guys who will be more than willing to come over, stand with you, and walk you through what you need to do. Definitely a quick way to save a bunch of money. Definitely want to do that. A lot of the videos that are out there are kind of cool because they'll tell you, okay, well, you need this and this, you need this ratchet, these sockets, these extensions, this screwdriver. I'm using my air ratchet, I'm not messing around. And then gloves. That's pretty much it. I mean, those are the tools you need. Of course, you're going to need a jack and jack stands to bring the car up. But other than that, that's kind of what it's all about with a brake job. And like I say, once you've done one, you'll be mad at yourself because if you ever spent money on having a brake job done. I never have, thank goodness, but I've heard the horror stories out there. One of the things you might want to do is have a buddy come over who has done it, inspect your brakes with you. Make sure you don't need, if you need calipers or need anything else, that you order those along with this stuff. If you order one caliper, order them both. The reason I say that is I always have to do things twice. I don't know why, it's just the nature of the beast. So what I've learned is I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to get everything I need at the same time. If I need one caliper, I'm going to order two, both sides. I'm not going to mess around. I want all my wear parts equal in their lifespan, I guess you'd say, or their newness. So, like in this particular case, I just need rotors, and the reason I need rotors is they're warped. One rotor's warped, so once again, I'm replacing all four. If one's bad, all are going to be bad. And once again, as I said, I'm upgrading the brakes to be slotted and drilled, which are definitely a big improvement over factory. I keep saying a lot, but it is what it is. Once again, like I say, I'm not going to walk you through how to do this. Get a buddy. If you've never done it before, get someone to come over and stand and work with you while you're doing it, so that they can observe what you're doing, make sure you're doing everything right, and that way you don't mess anything up. The only other thing you might need besides this is there's a kit to back off the calipers in the back. So anytime you put in new brake pads, you have to spread the calipers and put the new pads in, because as they wear, they squish in. So when you get the new one, just squish out, slop them in, and you're good to go. The back one, because it has an emergency brake, might have a special tool that you have to use. You can rent it from your parts store, or you can go to one of the discount tool places and buy one, which I did. If you've used it once or twice, you're saving the money. You might as well keep it. If you plan, like me, I own 7 cars, so it's kind of it's kind of one of those things you kind of want to have around. I've used it multiple times on multiple cars, so it's definitely earned its money. But that's probably the only other tool you'll need besides the set of sockets, a ratchet, and some extensions, because there's only 4 bolts to do it. Once you take the wheel off, there are 4 bolts holding everything on, and boom, it's off. Boom, you put the new stuff on, you're done. But anyway, look up the video for your particular car. Some of the cars are a little bit different in the way that they're put together. But for the most part, once you do one car, you can kind of do them all. There's a little bit of differences here and there on some of the different cars, and there's a little bit of difference on the front to back sometimes. But if you look up the video on your particular car, you'll have the answers you need. And that's about all I have for today. The cheap way to do stuff.